Against you, level the playing field. For more than 40 years, Michael Flynn and the Win with Flynn team has stood up for injury victims across Northwest Georgia. Michael Flynn fights to get you the compensation you deserve, like a recent $100,000 settlement for a woman with a concussion in a rear-end collision and $2 million for a man seriously injured by a logging truck. Win with Flynn. Serious injury, significant results. Visit winwithflynn.com or call 77-WIN-FLYNN.
We are born into this world through water. It nurtures us, sustains us, and carries us through life. For many, water welcomes us in baptism. When life's journey is complete, we may now return to the earth through water, becoming part of nature's eternal cycle. For over a century, Miller Funeral Home has served families with compassion and respect. We're proud to be Georgia's first and only funeral home to offer Aquamation, a modern, gentle end-of-life option. Aquamation, because the future deserves better choices. To find out more, visit miller-funeralhome.com.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk, 1330, FM 106.3.
Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Raddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. It's a beautiful new week, and we are honored to have in studio Matt Windom. He's Executive Director of the Carroll County Water Authority, and he's been there a little while. How many years? 23 years. All right. Well, congratulations on that longevity, and
thank you, Steve.
thank you for coming in. It's always good to have a Georgia Tech grad in studio.
Well, I appreciate that.
We need that. Tell us, we've been reporting for the last 2 or 3 months about drought conditions. They're a little bit improved, I think, but still moderate drought. How's that affected the Water Authority?
Well, Steve, you're right. We went through the winter of 25 and then 26 this year with really less rainfall than we normally have. And so a drought was declared in late April by the state. And as typical, usually when we declare those droughts, rain starts falling. So we were glad that the rain picked up after that. And really has helped us over the last month or so. Reservoir's holding about 5 inches below full pool, which is not too bad for this time of year, especially considering kind of the lack of rainfall we had in the winter. So really no direct impacts on us just yet. This level 1 drought was really more about, hey, making sure we're aware of it, making sure the customers are aware, using water wisely. And, of course, I think we have done that, and our customers have helped us with that. So we're hoping the rain continues, but it'll really take the rest of this year and through the winter of above average rainfall to get us back out of these kind of drought, the current drought situation.
I do want to ask, of course, about a couple of the reservoirs, but there's almost an obligatory question in this day and time, and that we ask. It seems like almost everybody, and that's data centers. Data centers have been controversial, particularly in Haralson and Carroll counties, for the last several months, and part of that reason is it's a little bit unclear as to whether they're cool with water that circulates, or they continuously need water, or they don't need water at all, or la-di-da-di-da. So obviously that's been an issue and something you've been involved in. So what's your take on data centers for Carroll County?
So I'll just share what I've learned about data centers over the last really about a year and a half, 2 years, and I think it really depends on the type of cooling that the data center plans to use. Water cooling is the cheapest for them, and I mean evaporative cooling. So if they use that type of technology, they use a lot of water. Water comes in, it's cooled, and it evaporates in the sky. To the very other far extreme is basically they're using, closed loop or HVAC type of cooling, which then shifts that kind of resource burden to the power side. So if it's less water, it's going to be more power. If it's less power, it's going to be more water. So in our thought here currently is we only have about 2 MGD of available capacity left for our in the Snake Creek Reservoir.
Yeah, MDG is million gallons.
Yeah, million gallons per day. Sorry,
okay.
That's million gallons per day. Well, that's fine. We're permitted for 8 there, and so on an average day, we're getting close to that 6 number. So we've got about 2 MGD or million gallons per day average average day left. And so we don't feel like in that situation that would even consider really water cooling for a data center. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense based on our supply. It doesn't mean we couldn't assist early in a project for temporarily, but it couldn't be water cooled here with our current supplies. So I think, it tends to be shifting toward that power cooling side from what I'm seeing from the industry and closed loop to be more efficient on the water, and would push the more of the demand to the power side. I mean, obviously those projects are. It depends a lot on where they're located. What kind of land uses are they proposing to be located in, whether it's agricultural, industrial, commercial.
I think the only potential one is near Villa Rica, correct?
That's my understanding. The one that's been basically has moved forward over the last year and a half, and that was previously provided supposed to be a residential development, and so it's kind of a shifting of the uses there. But most of them, if they're located in the right location, right, need buffers around them for noise and things like that. I mean, they do have a huge benefit on tax base and for the local community. So I think it's, how would the land be used? And you try to figure out, is it a good location? And I mean, each project has merits, and each project has the downside. And I think you got to really evaluate it by project by project.
Some people say, we look at the Industrial Revolution in the late 1800s, that data centers are basically inevitable, that it's just more technological progress. And, I mean, we can restrict it, but we can't completely stop it. If that's the case, then and Carroll County doesn't really have satisfactory water to welcome them in, then what does that, I guess that's just kind of a convoluted question, but what does that mean long term for Carroll County? We're just going to get left behind?
Well, I think there's obviously many different kind of industries, right? I mean, we could be talking about data centers as one type. We could be talking about jobs in traditional manufacturing. Now, those aren't going to be replaced by data centers or technology. We're still going to need people to turn wrenches and build components for projects.
Only people don't have jobs.
Well, that's probably maybe true. So I don't look at it that way. I think in the short term, certainly, our limited water supply here is not set up for a large use of data center. The question would even be, even if we had more supply, like we're trying to get permitted through the Indian Creek Reservoir project, which would take our supplies and more than double them, would that be the right choice? It really becomes more of a community choice, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the Water Authority has never been in the position of we think we ought to drive the community in one direction or the other. Our goal is to serve really what the vision of the county is, and if the elected bodies in the county decided they wanted to move in a direction, we try to support that. And right now, I think the direction they have kind of staked out is, hey, projects need to be reviewed and have their merits justified on each individual project.
Well, you set up the perfect segue. I was going to ask about this anyway. The Indian Creek Reservoir has been on the planning stage for what, a decade now?
Well, more. Yeah,
more
two. We started in 2006. So
okay.
We started 20 years ago to permit the next water supply for Carroll County.
For people who don't know where or what the Indian Creek Reservoir is, tell us about the current status.
Okay. So just to back up a little bit, Snake Creek Reservoir is our current water supply, and that's in the southeast portion of the county, north of Whitesburg. The Indian Creek Reservoir project is planned to be constructed in the northwest part of the county, up around the High Point community. And we started in 2006 looking for how to meet the needs of Carroll County's water supply for the next 50 years. And that drove us to a surface water reservoir there. It will yield about 8 of our 8+ million gallons of water per day. It is what we call a pump diversion reservoir. So you basically find a good location to build a dam to lessen your environmental impacts. And then the actual water source primarily is from the Little Tallapoosa River, southwest of Bowden. And so water would be removed from the river there and pumped to the reservoir body itself up at High Point. That takes about a 9.5-mile pipeline to get there. And a lot of people ask, well, why would you do that? Well, the reason is to get the water supply we need, you'd really have to dam up the Little Tallapoosa River, which would have such vast environmental impacts that it would never be permitted. So again, you go find a nice bowl, if you will, earthen bowl, you build a dam there, and you pump water from the river into that reservoir to maintain the level, which then provides the yield you need for your citizens.
Now, Lake Tangsinger is Turkey Creek, though.
That's right.
Right.
So it's a tributary of the Little Tallapoosa River, yes.
Okay. So what's the timeline for all this?
Well, the permit took 15 years. So it took from 06 to 21 to get it permitted by the federal government, the Corps of Engineers, and Georgia EPD to get our permits. So why not build it now, right? Why not start building in 21? Well, the project's estimated to cost about $235 million. And so for the Water Authority, that is be the largest project by a magnitude of probably 5 or 6 from our current largest project. So it's going to be really a burden. How do we fund that? So we've been chasing federal dollars through the USDA department, U.S. Department of Agricultural, NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Service, for funding. And so we found a program with their help that can potentially fund up to 75% of that construction cost. So the last 5 to 7 years, we've been working with them to try to secure funding. Now, the good news is we got the environmental impact statement approved back in earlier this year in January. That authorized that project to receive federal funding. However, the funding has to be allocated either directly to it or through the current program through NRCS. So right now we're working with them to try to get the money allocated to the project itself.
And at that point you'll start buying the property?
Well, no, we've already bought about 95% plus the property. So the reservoir property is purchased. Yeah, we've invested about $16 million thus far on design and property acquisition. So we own the intake site at the river. We own the reservoir property almost entirely. We will need to acquire some right-of-way and easements on that 9.5-mile pipeline. But that is about the remainder of the property we need to acquire. We've already done the mitigation on the project, which means stream and wetland mitigation. We've constructed that site down off of Watts Road below Bowden. And so if the funds were to come through, we would move pretty quickly to construct the reservoir dam.
How many acres will it be?
The reservoir itself will be 401 acres.
That's twice as big as Tangsinger, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller than Snake Creek, but it's much deeper. So it'll hold about 5.2 billion gallons of water compared to Snake Creek, which is about a little over 3. And we are 90% complete with dam design plans, and we just got those reviewed, or currently being reviewed by NRCS and Georgia Safe Dams. And we expect to have that review done in the next 6 months.
Give us a recap before we go to our first commercial about Snake Creek. Now, Snake Creek's about a quarter of a century old?
Well, Snake Creek was permitted in the 90s and was constructed in the early 2000s.
All right. So apparently it's been a huge success, correct?
Oh, it has, yes. So many thanks to prior leadership at the Water Authority through the board and through Jim Baxley, who was the director. Yes, he did a great job. He was able to permit that reservoir, and without that, we would be in dire straits, right, for the county. Mm-hmm. And so it has served us well. What has happened with it was originally expected to yield 13.5 million gallons of water per day. Mm-hmm. But we had more severe droughts during the 2006, 2008, and it lowered that yield. It reduced the capacity it could provide down to about 8. And so, but it's been great. It's about 600 acres. And again, been a great reservoir and serves us well for our community. I
know in the early days we were talking about limited recreational use. Has that worked out well?
It has. We've done passive recreation, sell boat permits, fishing permits, and we sell quite a few a year. And people enjoy that, and it's a great opportunity to have some passive recreation.
All right, very good. Our guest this morning is Matt Windom, Executive Director of Carroll County Water Authority. We're on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, News Talk Facebook page, and, of course, the YouTube stream. We'll be back with more after this.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. We're very pleased to have in studio Matt Windom, Executive Director of the Carroll County Water Authority. We've been talking about Indian Creek reservoirs for the future and Snake Creek Reservoir in the past and how everything's going. I don't think many people know, or maybe they do, I don't know, but the Carroll County Water Authority sells water to the cities of Mount Zion, Temple, Villarica, Whitesburg, Rooteville, and our good friends in Cleveland County.
That's correct. That's right.
So y'all make good money when you do that, right?
Well, we do make municipal rates on those. I mean, we sell those at a less rate than our residential rate because when they buy it from us, then they have to
pass it on.
But also we have some taker pays with those. So it's a fair contract, I think, for both parties on those municipal contracts.
How does that work out, the relationship with the municipalities and the Water Authority?
Well, I think it works out great. I mean, I think we serve them at we think a high level, and they're great customers of ours. And the way we look at it, it's not so much Carroll County Water Authority and the cities that you just mentioned. It's really our community, right? So we're trying to make sure if those communities are wanting to grow or need water, that we're there to serve. And then we rely on, Steve, as you know, I'm sure we rely on our other customers, our other utilities around us, like Carrollton can supply us water at times, and sometimes we'll supply them water in emergencies. Same way with Bowden and same way with Douglas County. And so we just rely kind of as a network to assist each other.
So all of these cities are responsible for laying their own water lines.
That's correct. Right. Yeah. So they have their own distribution systems in all the cases we just mentioned. And so they run those distribution systems just like we run ours. And so they're responsible for those, for maintaining those systems, for expanding them, for building the tanks they might need, or improving those and fixing leaks, whatever the case might be.
So in fixing leaks, basically people call and report whatever they may see, or an explosive water bill or whatever.
Yeah, so there's two things we'd ask our customers to do. One is, if you have a leak on your own plumbing, try to identify it quickly and fix it, and that helps us conserve water. The second thing that customers can help us with on leaks is, we're not like the power company that if you have a power outage at your house, they can ping that meter, their meter, and they know where the water's out. And in our situation, we're not able to do that. So we really benefit from customers that if they experience a change in pressure, like a low pressure, or they see a leak, or they're out of water, that they call our office and report it through our automated system. Because it's almost always the first calls we receive will give us the indication where that leak is. And now you might say, well, why is that important? Well, it's a 500 square mile plus size county. And if we get a call and got a leak in, say, the south part of the county, and it's 2 a.m. in the morning, trust me, we need those calls to come in to help our people go out and find the leak and to identify it and isolate it to repair.
It's I think it's maybe the fourth largest square.
North of Fall Line.
Yeah, it's a very large county, which makes it a challenge for the sheriff's department too.
It is,
and the ambulance service, and everybody.
It's a big county.
I mean, it really is. Now, how many customers do y'all have?
We're just about 21,000 homes. So, and you do that times 2.6 roughly, so about a little over 50,000 people we serve daily.
And we haven't mentioned, you also provide sewage and wastewater, correct?
We do. We provide wastewater to the Fairfield Plantation community, and that's about 10% of our customer base there.
Really?
And Steve, we're doing that with like 38 employees currently. And so we're always looking to add to that group. And I would say, customers can help us with that too. If they know people that are looking to, join a career in the water industry, we're looking to hire them. And, it's probably a challenge a lot of businesses are having right now is finding those individuals to fill those positions. But it'd be a great career competitive pay, great benefits, and we would love to keep adding to our team.
So apparently y'all are planning to do a sewer rehabilitation project at Lake Terra and Lake Ashley in Fairfield, the two lakes there.
We are. That project is coming in. The bids are coming in this week.
How much?
Well, we're estimating about $2.5 million for that project. Now, this project's really interesting because if you know anything about Fairfield and the collection system there for the sewer, a lot of it's along the lake and inside the lake of Lake Terra and Lake Ashley. And so hence there's a source of water that can get into the manholes, get into the leaks in the pipe if there's a leak. And so we think this is going to help us lower the sewer flows going to our plant, which will free up sewer capacity, which will lower our electrical bills. But to do it, we're going to need to do some slip lining of pipe and manhole rehab. And so it's a pretty large project for us on the sewer side, and we're hoping those bids come in that range, about $2.5 million.
How long will the project take? A couple of years?
No, it'll be, we'll start this fall. We tried to identify to do it in the fall and winter, so less lake activity. So we think we'll be done by the end of March of next year.
So the authority has 55 miles of sewer line and 10 lift stations within the subdivision?
Within Fairfield Plantation.
Within Fairfield.
So it's really a small city. If you
I know.
I mean, of that size. I mean, a lot of cities don't have that much sewer infrastructure.
One thing I guess is more of a personal question for me. When you drive around, you see these quote-unquote gray fields. You got these sprinklers. What are those?
So sewer treatment can take a couple forms, but when you see those irrigation,
what is
those
that?
those are land application sites. I mean, the city of Carrollton has a land application site, and so do we. And so you treat your wastewater, and then you spray the wastewater onto the vegetated site, and it then goes down through the soil and continues to be treated, and eventually finds its way to the groundwater and back to the stream. Kind of a part of the water cycle.
So the soil itself treats the...
Well, there's bacteria that can grow in that soil in the top part of it, and they can help treat that. And then, of course, the soil is a nice filter itself as it goes down through the soil. But, I mean, the wastewater is treated prior to it being sprayed. It's just really more of a disposal mechanism of the actual spray.
So basically having a spray field allows it to take advantage of the continued filtration.
It does.
Of the
well, I
soil.
mean, if it the alternative to that is what? The alternative is to do a direct discharge.
Right.
So you treat it straight to the stream, and that takes a higher level of treatment, a more costly level of treatment, and then you discharge it straight back to the stream.
Okay, that was the answer I was kind of trying to get to. What kind of working relationship, or how do you do, or how does the Water Authority get along with the Georgia EPD?
We get along with them pretty well. I mean, as long as you run your system in a way that meets the permits, you usually get along just fine.
Are they overly regulatory in terms of what they do with you?
I mean, I think a lot of most industries say there's too many regulations.
Right.
Right.
Well, certainly the radio industry does.
But I think most industry probably feels that way.
Yeah.
But I think we also realize that there is a oversight needed for the environment to make sure, and I think they do a fine job. We've got a great relationship with them and have no complaints with how they run their shop.
Shifting gears, I know this is on the website, and I'm sure you can just refer to the website, but I do want to mention it. Since the early 60s, fluoridation of water has been a issue, controversial, and now with the federal court ruling and RFK Jr. being head of HHS, fluoridation's kind of back in the news. I understand that a year ago, Florida, along with Utah, basically said you don't have to put fluoride in the water. And the mantra is hydrate, don't medicate. So tell us about what's on the website for anybody that's interested.
Well, fluoridation is required by Georgia state law. I mean, it's required for all water utilities in the state of Georgia to provide fluoride in the water, unless there is a procedure for a community to opt out, and that's a very detailed procedure. So most water utilities will do whatever the community would like, right? I mean, if you ask, and I've asked some dentists. Mm-hmm. Kind of, and I get some mixed opinions about whether you should add it or not. I mean, that was the original intent of adding it. It was really to help with the,
tooth decay.
Tooth decay. And so we would be more than happy not to feed it. It's an additional cost for us. It is a corrosive chemical that we have to maintain. But until such time as there's a change in state law, then we'll keep abiding by the regulations to feed it. But we'll be glad to. Any customers have any questions about that, we can discuss that with them directly at the office as well.
Our guest this morning is Matt Windom, Executive Director, Carroll County Water Authority. We'll be back with more after this.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Raddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. One thing, give us an update for your water customers. How are we doing in terms of keeping rates low and competitive?
That's interesting. So Steve, we look at rates each year as we set our budget, and we try to look at rates in the community, our surrounding areas, and just for a point of reference. And so our rates are right around that median rate on water and a little bit higher on sewer, but we think not far off that median rate as well. But I always stress to my board, the Water Authority board, and I would tell anybody else that would listen, be careful about comparing rates, because when systems are different, right? So we're a system that's trying to grow and build infrastructure, and so we need the rates in place to generate the cash flow to do those projects versus a system maybe more mature and not have that kind of debt load either on them currently or coming. So I think our rates are certainly fair and where they need to be. And we do a third-party rate survey, a rate study every about 3 years. We have a CPA firm come in and just analyze them to make sure they're fair and consistent with what our objectives and goals are.
How many miles I don't think we mentioned this, how many miles of water pipe?
About 900.
900 miles?
Maybe even a little more. And we're adding pipe every year. So it's, we just finished a North Carroll water improvement project, which probably added about 8 miles up around south of I-20, east and west of Highway 27 to serve that area that really couldn't be served with water until this project. We had to add 2 water tanks, 2 pump stations to raise the pressure gradient there to serve that higher property. And so that's just now coming online.
You got any other water tanks under construction at the moment?
Those 2 are just now finishing up.
Okay. Well, we're going to run out of time, but whenever there's economic growth, I guess you're one of the first people they call.
Typically, they want to know, do we have the water infrastructure in place to meet the needs? And we're constantly working with Carroll Tomorrow is one of our partners about that, and glad to assist the community that way. You
got any breaking news on upcoming industry that's going to be locating here?
Nothing today that I can report.
Never hurts to ask.
But there's I think Carroll County is in a great location to attract business.
Before we go, I thought it'd be kind of neat to salute the board of directors. Let me go through.
I would agree.
Let me go through this list real quick. Mr. Eric McWhirter, Mrs. Regina Cleveland, Mr. Trey, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Wiley, Bobby Holcomb, I'm familiar with that name, Ms. Amanda Smith, Mr. Tyler Walls, and Johnny Tanner.
That's correct. That's the voting. 7 voting directors.
And they play a very important role.
Well, they do.
It's not just you.
Well, absolutely not. It's not just me, it's not just them, and it's not just a staff. It's the entire team. And I've been blessed, Steve, with a great board of directors for years, and it's made a real impact on our progress as a water authority.
You've been there 23 years, so that says a lot right there.
Yes, sir.
It really does. All right, our guest this morning's been Matt Windom. Thank you for coming in. I think it's been 5 years since you've been in.
Well, let's don't make it so long.
Yeah, we'll do it in 5 more years.
Yeah,
Maybe 4 years.
Whenever you're ready.
Anyway, we'll try to do it every year if we can. Matt Windom, Executive Director of Carroll County Water Authority, thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our sponsors. God bless our troops. Go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBB Carrollton.